G'day, welcome to Godless Australian. How you doing? Boop, 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 boop. How are you going, everyone? I feel like I have been silent for a bit too long on a subject that's going around at the moment amongst the atheist community. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Tommy McMurtry, pumpkins, that sort of thing, links in the description below, because I'm sure if you're watching this now, you probably know the story. If you don't, please go and check the descriptions below. Okay, the reason why I'm wearing this amazing shirt actually has a story behind it. So a few years ago, my country, Australia, which if you haven't guessed that I'm Australian, I'm slightly surprised, but they did a gay marriage plebiscite. And that was to find out if they think Australians feel that gay people deserve the right to get married. To which my answer is, well, yeah, of course, they're human. Like, seriously, why are we even asking this question? And also, it cost us $120 million. Huge waste of public funding, public money that could have gone to so much more other things than a highly toxic and highly divisive plebiscite on something that they already would have known the answer to. So many polls on Facebook, by newspapers, they're all pointing to about 70% of Australians say yes, gay people should have the right to marry. And the result was a little bit less than that. It was 64%, if I remember correctly. I'll double check, and this is just off the cuff, this video, so make sure you check the description below, because I will obviously update and give you more accurate dates, more accurate results and that sort of thing for you guys to check out and click around on. During this time, there were a huge number of increase of mental health services for people who are LGBTQIA+ or GRSM people. I will say GRSM or the other one. For those of you who don't know what GRSM means, it means gender, sexual and minority groups. So, basically LGBTQIA+, just shorter. Again, thank you to Mr. Atheist for bringing this acronym to my attention. So during this time, one of my favourite musicians, Sleep Makes Waves, fantastic band, links in the description below. We're seeing this awful thing happening to the GRSM community, so we will release a single and also release a shirt with the rainbow colour in our support towards the gay community, and also to help raise money for the mental health services towards people who have been affected by this issue. That's the story behind this t-shirt. Another thing I'd like to talk about is where I sit in the GRSM spectrum. I do not identify as GRSM. I am cishet as far as I'm concerned. There's a little bit of nuance for me, but as a general rule, I'm not GRSM. I am very much, though, an ally. I have always been an ally to the GRSM community because, as I said earlier, they're human. Like, why would you hate someone for being a human? Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. I've marched in gay marriage equality marches even years before the gay marriage plebiscite went out. I obviously voted yes in the gay marriage plebiscite. I encourage people to vote yes in the gay marriage plebiscite. I bought this shirt to support people who are GRSM. I also do have a lot of good friends who are GRSM. Two of my best friends are a part of that community. It's not because they are GRSM that I love them. I love them because they're lovely people. They bring a lot of joy and happiness and love into my life. So of course, with things happening right now on Twitter and the atheist YouTube community, I think it's been a little bit too long for me to be quiet. I know that Tommy McMurtry is sexually attracted to pumpkins. His silence has spoken volumes. He is sexually attracted to pumpkins. And you know what? That's fine. So please, support the poor guy in coming out. But apart from that silliness, Again, I don't really think he's sexually attracted to pumpkins, but I think it's still quite funny to consider that maybe he is sexually attracted to pumpkins. But we don't know. We just don't know. But there's a couple of things I also want to talk about. The other day, Shannon Q put out a video put up by Stephen Anderson. Okay. I can't say his name without wanting to vomit. And I have to rename him something. And I can't think of anything that could even come close to the vileness of what this man really is. I don't know. It's insulting to scum to call him scum of the earth. It's insulting to excrement to call him excrement, but I'm going to have to call him something, so I will actually call him excrement. So yeah, I'm sorry, all forms of excrement. I apologize to you for equating you with this man. Shannon Q put out this video the other day, and if you haven't watched it, I'll link it in the description below. And her voice is basically exactly what I feel. Shannon, I know you're probably never going to watch this video, but you are honestly an incredible person for doing what you did with that. Your mental health must have got a major pummeling from what you watched, and yet you did it, and you should be congratulated and loved for what you did. If I could, I would buy you a beer, or even, I don't know, something else, something a little bit more expensive, a decent box of chocolate or whatever. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing. Thank you, Telltale, for doing what you're doing. Thank you, Mr. Atheist, for doing what you're doing. Godless Engineer, Godless Cranium, all of you, you're all doing a really, really decent, amazing job. And if I could buy you all a beer, I would do that in a friggin' heartbeat. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I don't think I have the mental capacity to be able to do what you guys are doing, and I love you all very, very much for doing it. But anyway, going back to this video by Shannon Q, excrement said some things about, obviously, the Pulse nightclub shooting and how they want to celebrate the slaughter of 49 innocent people during Pride Month. These people are people. They're nothing less than humans, unlike you, excrement. I actually respect these people. I don't even know their names, but I have infinite more respect for them than I do for you, excrement. But that's not hard. I mean, I have more respect for an E. coli microbe than I do for you, excrement. Hell, I even have more respect for a Vibrio cholerae microbe than I do for excrement. Anyway, ignoring the fact that he has called for the wholesale state-sanctioned genocide of people I love. He wants to murder people I care about. He wants to make sure that people I love are going to be killed by the government. This is not part of my government. There is no one calling, as far as I'm aware, for the wholesale death of the GRSM community. I think enough people have been talking about this to know that it is not an okay thing to think. Although I feel that I can't really express anything more towards the GRSM community and my support for the GRSM community than what the previous people I mentioned. They've all said everything that I need to say, and I feel like there is nothing that I can add to the conversation other than I agree with these people, and I do agree with these people. However, there's something else that is sort of being lightly touched on, and in Shannon Q's video, excrement talks about how a wife, if she doesn't want to have sex, doesn't matter because she must submit to her husband. I have reason to believe that he runs one of the worst blogs on the internet, which is biblical gender roles. Even if he doesn't, it'd be someone very similar to Excrement. So if you don't know what biblical gender roles is, if you want to go and have an aneurysm, I suggest that you look them up. I'm not going to put a link in the description below for the main reason that I don't want to put any more traffic towards this vile, disgusting website. So please, if you want to go and have a look at it, go for it, but I'm not going to link you to it because I don't want that in my search history. Basically, the biblical gender role is basically a handbook for how to abuse your wife. He advocates the rape of women in the marriage bed. If a person does not want to have sex and you have sex with them, that is rape, full stop. I don't care if you're male or female or what, because men also do get sexually and physically abused by women as well. So I want to also mention that as well. I recognize that men are also victims of domestic violence. I thought, if it was me personally, I think that crosses the line. There's several lines that are very crossable, and this is one of those lines. So if that was him individually, I would have thought to myself, yeah, I think you're the scum of the earth to advocate the rape of another person, ignoring the fact that he's advocating the murder of my loved ones, of my friends. So yeah, he's crossed two lines that for me would make me think you're the most disgusting person on the planet. Physical assault, sexual assault of anyone, in my opinion, is just wrong. Okay, there are a lot of people who think that, you fight violence with violence, and at some points, yes, I will agree with you on that one. However, physical and sexual assault of someone who does not have the same power of you makes you scum. Sorry. But another thing that really kind of makes me even more angry, and this is the one that crosses 2 or 3 different lines for me, because I have a personal investment in this thing that he's arguing for. In Shannon Q's video, Excrement talks about physical assault of people who are aneurotypical. The reason why I have a personal investment into this one is because I fall under that category. I have ADHD. For those of you who've been following my channel for a while, or for those of you who have been watching my channel for a while, you might recognize that every once in a while, or every single time I do a video, I will always put a disclaimer or something like that in my description, or a clarification in my description. And the reason being is that with my ADHD, I have short-term memory problems. It's just a symptom of my disorder. And so often I would say something that is actually incorrect. I don't mean to. I try to be as intellectually as honest as I possibly can. So for every single time I put out a video, I really strongly recommend you read the descriptions for any clarifications. Because of this thing, I can't help it. It's not something that I can improve on. I'm doing as best as I can, but I will always make a mistake in my videos. And I want to make sure that I am as accurate as possible with all of my videos. I am more than happy to do a conversation about ADHD and what it is on my science channel, because it's a conversation that needs to be done. If you have ADHD or you want to learn more about it, there is an amazing YouTube channel called How to ADHD. I will put a link in the description below. Please check it out, because if you need to get some really good resources, she does a fan-friggin-tastic job. Again, if you want to learn about it, give a little bit of an overview of what it's like to be diagnosed as ADHD at a later age. I was diagnosed at 26 years of age. Then please also make sure that you comment below and I will do a video on my science channel. I also work with people with disabilities. So I work with neurotypical people all the time. Some of my best friends and good followers on Quora are neurotypical. So autism, Asperger's, ADHD, all of these people are aneurotypical, and a lot of them are very gorgeous people. And so in regards to excrement and his way of thinking, I just want to say, fuck you. You want to kill people I love. You advocate the rape of people I love. You want to physically abuse myself and people I love and care about. You have crossed so many lines. You can go to fucking hell.